Welcome back, everyone. This is Austin Reville with 2FBC Tactical on our From the Vault series, highlighting cool and historical firearms that come through our shop and are in our personal collection. The whole purpose of this series really is just to show you the really cool, interesting pieces, for the most part, that arrive in our shop and are available to you, as well as, the interesting ones that we have in our personal collection that you don't get to see every single day. One of the coolest things about this job, being a gun dealer, is you really have no idea what's going to walk through that door. You would be shocked at what people out there own, how old it is, even the condition of what it's in, and just the ability that we have here in America to own firearms in general, but also his interesting historical pieces. We have one for you today that came through the shop that is just... It's not often that there's something that comes through that truly takes your breath away, at least in its condition and presentation. This right here is one of those pieces. This is a Persian Mauser here. This is by far the best shape I have ever seen a gun come through the shop. And that's not hyperbole. We've had many, guns come through the shop in various conditions. Some very nice, don't get me wrong. This looks like this came off the factory yesterday. The stock is immaculate. The wood, the grain, there's not chips, there's no scratches. The bluing is fresh. The acrylics pop on it. We even have a very rare piece where it's the test card from the factory on this particular gun, showing the accuracy of it. And this was in 1934. So just to put that in perspective. Now, several weeks ago, we had talked about the Turkish M38 Mauser, right? And how Germany proliferated their guns before the war. When I say the war, World War I, but also in between World War I and World War II and beyond. The Czechs were no different. So this is a Czech Mauser made by CZ in Czechoslovakia, or former Czechoslovakia, that's now named Czechia. It's changed its name again, but that's where this Mauser originated from. Now, the Czechoslovakia has a history of making German Mausers or German Mauser knockoffs. This is going back to World War I, where the Sudetenland, which is the typical German area of Czechoslovakia that would become... it would be the beginning of World War II in the 1930s, mid-1930s, when Hitler would move in and take the Sudetenland back, and that's where the famous Neville Chamberlain paper waving, saying "peace in our time," saying that, hey, if you take Czechoslovakia, Hitler won't have any more aspirations beyond that in Europe. Of course, we all know that was not true, and what happened afterwards, he would take all of Europe, and then we would have to invade Normandy all and take it back. But with that being said, Czechoslovakia, or Czech Republic, Czechia, all the same country, they had a very intimate relationship with the Germans, especially when it comes to rifle design. World War I, pre-World War I, and World War II, especially. Let's back up here a little bit. So CZ is one of the oldest firearm manufacturers in the world. The oldest is Beretta. They've been making firearms for over 500 years. But the second oldest is CZ. They've been making guns for a very long time. When Hitler invades Czechoslovakia, he takes over a bunch of arms factories, including CZ, and they put them to work. An example of this would be this K98K Mauser from 1944. This is a German Nazi marked Mauser. That is also in very gorgeous condition. This is in my personal collection. We pulled it out a few times on the video, but this is made in the DOT factory. That's made in the Czech Republic. That's where this particular one came from. And you can see the similarities in the design between these two. Now, why is there some differences, right? Well, main difference is this was made under German occupation. This was made prior to German occupation. That's one. The second piece is this is not a K98 per se. This would be like a M38 kind of model, that between war model. Hasn't been fully updated to the K98K that we would come and know from World War II. This is kind of not the Gewehr 88, 98. This is the in-between model. The VZ24 specifically is where this comes from, which is, again, a copy of a German design. Now, when we say Persian Mauser, what does that mean, though? This was not made in Persia. This was made in the Czech Republic, sent off to, at the time, Persia, what we would call Iran now. This would have been their main military rifle of the time. And they did have a history of doing this prior to World War II, even before the interwar period. Iran got its hands on Mausers just like the Turkish Mauser, the K98s, during World War I, during the Ottoman Empire reign. As we tried to split up the Ottoman Empire during World War I, which ultimately it would fall apart post-war. This particular gun was chambered in the 8mm Mauser cartridge, just like most Mausers of the time. A very prominent, very reliable cartridge being mass-produced and made by many countries all over the world. It features your typical Mauser action. The K98s would bend the bolt, and you would see more changes like that. But in terms of the overall bolt design, that doesn't really change even through World War II. You still have your safety right here, safety lever. You have your Mauser action right here. Actually, excuse me, this is not a Mauser action. This one actually this one does not lock open. But once you have it cocked, there's your safety to prevent it from firing. That fires the gun. You have your typical level raised up sights. You have your cleaning rods all the way up here, just like you would see. The differences were mainly in the sight picture, the front sight post. Obviously, the rear sight slide is in acrylics, not in English lettering and numbering. That again, it's being tailored to the country in which it is going to serve. This one, obviously, and I feel fairly confident saying this, never made it to Iran. Reason why I can say that is because I've seen Persian Mausers before. I've seen many of them. None of them look like this. Literally none of them. They all saw service. They all served. In fact, they're still in service technically today. There are pictures of Iranian guardsmen, and even the Iran-Iraq War of the 80s, of them using Persian Mausers, like using these, what we would call relics, but they're still using them because third world countries, they don't have access to the modern arms necessarily that we do, or not in the numbers maybe needed, depending on the conflict, or if they're trying to disassociate themselves. When you think of the Iranian Guard, you also think of all the terrorist activity that Iran involves itself with. But just because they're sponsoring it, they do like to have that, air of separation, right? Oh, it's not us, it's these other guys. Even though we all can see through it, they'll give them guns that would reflect not being a part of the Iranian direct military. To be fair, we in the United States do this too. We have throughout history armed our warriors, especially in covert ops, with weapons that would not be directly tied to us, so on and so forth. So that's no different. So with that being said, most of the Persian Mausers you see, they've been to hell and back. They have been beat up. They've been used heavily. The desert environment is not kind to anything man-made, if we're just being fair, but especially wood and metal rusts a lot, dries out. They weren't well maintained. They didn't have the armories and the rigorous cleanings and maintenance that we see in other militaries. This one, I have no idea where this one came from specifically. The fact that it has this accuracy card here with the proper stamps on it from CZ to the Persian military, stating that basically this rifle, this serial number, passed the test. This was a test rifle, is what I'm guessing, or at least a lot. It was in a lot that they pulled to prove, do quality control tests and so on. This does not have import marks on it, which is relatively interesting too in and of itself. Excuse me, it does actually have import marks. I'm thinking of another one that came through that didn't have import marks. But this one is a beautiful, beautiful rifle. And again, it's kind of a shorter video because it is just a Mauser. We have kind of talked about Mausers before. We'll talk about the K98 eventually. But I just think it's a really cool piece, and also just the condition. I mean, when you look at the crest, the Persian crest right there, it is truly an amazing, amazing piece. I never see rifles in this condition, unissued, just untouched to time. Stuff like this ends up in museums more often than not. But even some museum pieces don't look quite like this. But anyway, I do hope you enjoyed this. I hope you'll like, comment, and subscribe. Like I said, the reason why we're doing this is to highlight things that come through the shop, just to show the variety and the wide range of items that we are just blessed enough to touch and, potentially you can own because they become available in our shop. This walkthrough, and it blows my breath away every single week. Something comes through and you just go like, wow, I have never seen that before. And even though I've seen Persian Mausers before, I've never seen one like this before. I've never seen this before. I've never seen quality condition of this, and it is not reblued. It has not been tampered with. This is how they would have looked fresh coming out of the crate. But till next time, we appreciate it.